Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Truth Talk episode number 5. And we're going to go into exactly what it says. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho looks like he is back. I want to break down exactly where this turnaround's come from. I want to just discuss Jose Mourinho in general, and also where Spurs stand when it comes to potential title winners. So the title saying Jose Mourinho is back, and at the end of the day, did he ever really leave? That's another question that we can get into. I mean, as a Manchester United fan, obviously he got quite frustrated with Jose. He kind of got a little bit toxic. He admitted himself that he definitely deserved to be sacked, but there's reasons behind that as well. So I think it was a bit of his fault as well as our fault as well. But I think that there's things that we've worked out about Jose Mourinho, and I think there's things that Jose Mourinho's worked out himself to actually help him improve. Even as great as he's been, has helped him to improve himself as a manager as well, because he's always been a tactician. He's always been a very good manager, but there's things where things start to go wrong, where he doesn't know how to handle that. And I've got a feeling that he's starting to understand how to handle it. I also want to go into things like, has he found his niche? Has he found what type of club suits him as well? So that's something else that we can discuss. And like I said, we want to discuss where Spurs stand in the title race. So the turnaround at the end of the day, Jose Mourinho was in the Sky Sports studio, been sacked by Manchester United. It was big news, box office. Jose Mourinho was now just a Sky pundit. Jose Mourinho's finished. He's yesterday's man. We said by myself as well as a frustrated United fan. And yeah, you're sitting in the Sky studio, spitting facts when he was talking, and just had a real tactical insight. And one thing that I was saying in the studio, I was like, he's around so many different ex-managers or failed managers, and you could literally tell that he was literally the only one out of everyone who's there. So you got Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Graham Souness. The way that he spoke, you could tell that he was an ex-manager. I mean, he was the current manager who's ready to get back in, whereas the rest are entertainers for Sky. So if you look at Jose in general, we'll go back to his time at Manchester United. His time it started off really well. He got his signings that he wanted. He got his Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He got who else did he get? He got Pogba. He got Bailly. He got Mkhitaryan, and he started off fairly well. And won a trophy as well. He won a couple of trophies. But there was always going to be a discord between what Jose Mourinho believed and what Manchester United believed going forward. Now, that shouldn't be the case when you employ a manager. This is where, if you've seen any of my other videos when I've discussed our hierarchy, everything to do with philosophies has been completely lost at Manchester United. So Jose Mourinho would have been the perfect manager when Sir Alex Ferguson retired. He would have commanded the respect of your Rio Ferdinands and your Vidics and your Ryan Giggs and stuff like that, as well as having the links in football to get players that he wanted to. But that hindsight, it didn't happen. But Jose Mourinho, when he did come to Manchester United, he'd won a league at Chelsea, and then it all went to pot again. The situation with the doctor, falling out with Hazard. And yeah, so when we got him, it felt as though that he was half broken. He was like, he's won a league at Chelsea. I saw his very seeming unhinged interviews after, when he was trying to coax Chelsea to either sack him or back him. So I wasn't too sure. I've always been sceptical of Jose, not his greatness, but whether he fitted Manchester United. After Sir Alex Ferguson, I wouldn't mind having him, but I was always sceptical. Then he started off quite well. As I say, he won a couple of trophies, Ibrahimovic was like the focal point. And then the next season, again, brought Lukaku, who was then the focal point. He finished second, and yeah, Jose Mourinho. It was kind of like the fans were singing Jose Mourinho. We was happy with Jose Mourinho to an extent, but we could see that there was no real style of play. Now I say style of play, which sounds very disrespectful to Jose Mourinho, but I can explain a little bit more what I mean by that. That can bring me into Jose Mourinho and what clubs suit Jose Mourinho. You see, if it's at Real Madrid, yes, they won one league title, but for the whole of the time at Real Madrid, the Real Madrid fans were really neither here or there with him, and they didn't accept the fact playing against Barcelona, whether you should accept it or not, just because they had Messi. Playing against Barcelona doesn't mean sticking everyone behind the ball. Same as Manchester United. So we live in a little bit of like cloud cuckoo land. So we couldn't take the fact. I think it was at Anfield away, and I think it finished 0-0. And there was a lot of criticism to say this isn't what a Manchester United manager should be doing. And I think that we all lived in this sort of, time of Manchester United and going full throttle. But Anfield was always a difficult place to go to. So in hindsight, Jose Mourinho was doing it his way, and like the board and everyone should have known that this is Jose Mourinho's way. You either follow what he does, or you don't employ him in the first place. So it wasn't totally Jose's fault, but he wasn't totally not his fault. And so what happens then is when you don't start to improve, then when you're trying to get rid of, say, a Martial, and you want to bring in Perisic from Inter Milan and stuff like that, the board then becomes sceptical. He doesn't want to work with young players. None of the young players are improving. He's coming out and criticising players in the media. He doesn't seem happy. Everyone's saying that he's not the same Jose Mourinho. And he started getting frustrating. He started getting frustrating for us. Like I said, he admitted himself that he thought that he deserved the sack. But this is a great manager. There's no doubt about that. I never let that leave what I was saying about Jose Mourinho. It felt like he was yesterday's man because he just didn't seem like a happy person in general. He didn't seem that happy when he first took over at United, to be quite honest with you. It just seemed like there was a bit of a hangover from Real Madrid and Chelsea. So going back to him sitting in the Sky studio, we was then thinking, what sort of job is Jose going to get next? That's how low his stock had then plummeted to. So when Pochettino got sacked, Tottenham came calling, and there was calls to say, oh, they've gone for Jose, he's never going to be the same again at Spurs. And, backing exactly what Pochettino done. Pochettino done an absolutely brilliant job. He done an excellent job. And as I say, I wouldn't mind him being Manchester United coach. But at the end of the day, let's have a look at Jose Mourinho and the players that are at his disposal at Spurs and why it was always the perfect fit. So I use the two side by side, Manchester United and Spurs. So as soon as he went to Manchester United, Jose, he was never in any intention to try to give Martial number 9 and to say, Rashford, you're out wide. He had no time for that. Just like he's got no time for Spurs or anything like that. He's got no time for that. So for Jose to go at Spurs, when I speak to my friend about when Jose took over in Spurs, my first thing was they've got Kane and they've got Son. And if you look at the history of Jose Mourinho, sometimes he only needs those two players. And the way that he sets teams up, they'll do the rest. And his first season at United, the reason why we were successful, I mean, we won the Europa League and we played turgid football in the final, to be fair. One was a footballing team, but he knew what to do because that's what he does. He plans for each game. So I saw for Spurs, I thought, well, if they've got Son and they've got Kane, he's going to build something there where everything's set up to play through them. And this is what's happened. When Zlatan got his injury for Manchester United, when he was on form, and he's obviously a little bit older as well, that was his plan there as well. So his plan was everything goes through Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and at first with Rooney. So his thing was Rooney and Ibrahimovic. He tried to sign Rooney at Chelsea, but Rooney was getting a little bit old. It wasn't the best Rooney, and Ibrahimovic got that injury. So then for him, he's having to then rely on, to him, they'll be kids, not established. And as we're seeing now, is Jose Mourinho being proved right? I mean, I've had a little bit of a rant about about Marcus Rashford myself. Like he's not developing to the consistent basis that we need, the same as Martial. So the turnaround at Manchester United would have had to be massive, and it would have cost a lot of money, and it would have meant getting rid of certain players that the hierarchy, say for Martial, we're still paying for. But going into Spurs, it was a match made in heaven, and this is where I'm talking about a niche of a manager. And as you get older, you might then start to work out what sort of club is for you. And I'll use it as an example here. So for someone like Klopp, he's getting older now. So I think I don't even know if he's 50, to be fair, but Jose is 56 and Klopp's 49, I think, or 50. And Jurgen Klopp shows that he's able to galvanise a team that's not quite there. But of fanatical fans. But he's only had like these two main teams. So you got Dortmund and you got Liverpool, very similar. Would he be able to do the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo and Ozil and Bale, and request them to press like he wants to press? So sometimes there's a squad and a team that suits you more. Maybe Klopp, as he's getting even better than he was before, maybe he will be able to then say, I can go to any club in the world. But sometimes it doesn't actually work like that. Like, we haven't seen a Pep at a team that's struggling. So we haven't seen a Pep come to Manchester United. We saw him go to a Man City. We didn't see a Pep go to Dortmund or, I don't know, Schalke or anything like that. He went to Bayern Munich, and rightfully so. In Spain, we didn't see him go to Atletico. We saw him go to Barcelona. So we haven't seen that. But with Jose Mourinho, there's a pattern. He's been to so many clubs now. So this can mark his greatness. And for me, it shows what level he's now at. So Porto, not expected, maybe in his own league, but not expected in Europe. That means that they play exactly how he wants them to do. Then you can go on to Chelsea. Again, Manchester United are dominating, Arsenal are dominating. He goes to a team, he's given plenty of money to mould a team exactly how he wants and to play exactly how he wants. So if, it wasn't always backs against the wall because they're such a great squad. But in certain games, if you wanted to put everyone behind the ball, Chelsea, because they're so desperate to win trophies, they will follow everything that he wants. Inter Milan, straight after that. Again, Inter Milan, not look successful as Juventus, not really expecting a certain style. He plays exactly how he wants to. That's why he was able to play how he did away at Barcelona. And that's Mourinho at his best. Let him work. Real Madrid is then, we're talking about more ups and downs. So Barcelona are dominant. So the only way that Mourinho knows how to stop him is to revert back to type. Now, that's his management style. But as a club, Real Madrid couldn't take that. So yes, they won one title, but there was a lot of ups and downs. So I say it's only one title, like it's nothing. But he took a lot, and he took a lot out of Real Madrid, and they ended up sacking him. That's not always Jose Mourinho's fault. That just means when I'm talking about a manager's niche of clubs, sometimes it's not those established clubs that get trophies every few years anyway. So then he goes back to Chelsea. Chelsea have kind of changed their image a little bit as well. It didn't seem like it was the same second time round, but again, one season, then he won his trophy, then it exploded. So again, then he's gone to a Real Madrid type team in Manchester United, where even though we're begging for a winner like Jose Mourinho, they still talk from the media, talk from the fans, talking about the style, talking about when we're thinking the place out. It's not allowing him to work. Then we're talking about bringing through young players. Where's Rashford? Where's Martial? Blah, 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 blah. That then is too much for him. So again, he's won trophies. Well, again, we're finding out that the Real Madrids and the Manchester Uniteds aren't for Jose, because then we're going into Spurs. I was listening to a Spurs fan online, and it is Trophy Mourinho, and it is literally, let me win a trophy. Like, I'm Spurs. I just want a trophy. Any trophy. Give me any trophy. Just give me a trophy. And that means any means necessary. Any means necessary. So he's now at a club which are comfortable putting 6 players behind the ball, like as defenders. He set up absolutely perfectly against Man City. Would Liverpool like, would Liverpool expect that? Would Liverpool accept that, the way that Jose set up against Man City? Probably not. But that's why Liverpool's not the club for Jose Mourinho. Would Manchester United accept putting so many players behind the ball? Well, we kind of accepted him with with Ole, but I've got problems with that anyway. But do we accept it? Did we have problems with it? Yes, we did. Because what we're finding is that Jose is going to be successful everywhere he goes, but he's going to be more successful at the clubs that just accept that this is his way. He judges a team and he'll play to stop your strength and he'll work on your weakness. Now, that sounds like, well, that's football, isn't it? Not necessarily, because sometimes if you've got a system and you've got a way of playing, people like Pep, people like Klopp, they don't really defer away from how they play. They don't care who they play against. Klopp, a few weeks ago against Man City, he just put four attackers on. He thought, F this. Yeah, let's go at him. Same as Pep, same thing. He's being found out. But Jose Mourinho is always going to be that consistent. This is the way that I play. I'm going to find your weakness for you. Like I said, some clubs accept it. Some clubs, there's a lot more noise from it. I'd say noise rather than don't accept it. Because at the end of the day, a win's a win. Winning a Europa League, when we won the Europa League, we take it. We don't say, oh, I don't want that trophy because of the way that we play. But there's more noise from it. Whereas Spurs, if you notice, just like there was Chelsea all those years ago when there wasn't winning loads of trophies, they would accept any way that Jose was playing. Same again with Inter Milan. Inter Milan have won the Champions League since the 1950s. And this is the greatness of Jose Mourinho. And it is a kind of situation where it's let this guy work. He has to work. And I believe that he has to work as an underdog. And I think that that suits him. Whereas being at the best clubs, there's too much noise. Like, when we're talking about a Spurs transfer, for instance, and this is how Jose likes to work, when we're talking about Spurs transfers, it's either done or there's not this massive attention. Whereas Manchester United, we said that we needed the defender. Before you know, within 2 days, we linked to every single defender in the world, and we're being overpriced on certain defenders. Then he doesn't get the defender that he wants. And then all of a sudden, Jose is unhappy. An unhappy Jose, he said it himself, he deserved the sack. And unhappy at Jose, there's no point. There's no point. But he's completely galvanised the Spurs team. I know that it's only 9 games, but at the end of the day, that's nearly a quarter of the season. So it's nearly a quarter of the season, or it might actually be a quarter of the season. And at the end of the day, they look extremely solid. They look real good. They smacked us 6, and Jose just looks a lot calmer. Now, we have seen it before, but at the end of the day, if it brings a Spurs fan a trophy, if it brings a Spurs fan the league, I think that the league's I don't think that the league's possible, just because I don't think the defence is particularly good. But if it brings them the Carabao Cup, where they've got Stoke next, and then they'll be in a semi-final, or an FA Cup, that's what Spurs want. So if, for instance, Spurs face Liverpool and they put everyone behind the ball and they play it for a draw, the Spurs fans will accept it now, because they've realised that they might think that they've got this style, but this style never brings them anything. Whether it was under Poch or whatever, it never brought them anything. So you have to buy into Jose Mourinho, and you have to buy into Jose Mourinho's greatness. And there's no denying his greatness, and there never was. There never was. But I think at the age of 56 now, he's found what his niche actually is. He's somebody who is able to budge into the settled top teams, rather than sometimes being at the historic top teams. Jose Mourinho at Barcelona. Can you imagine that ever happening? You just can't imagine it. Can't imagine it. The way that PSG are wanting to play, you just can't imagine him there. With Neymar and players like that, that's no slight on Jose Mourinho. His niche is these type of clubs, and Spurs is absolutely perfect. They've moved to the best stadium in the league. They don't win any trophies. They've got a world-class winger. They've got a world-class striker that you can build around. They brought back Bale. They've got a hard-working midfield where there's no superstars. Not talking about them every single week. Holberg, Sissoko. These aren't superstars, but they'll do a job for you. And this is perfect for Jose Mourinho. So watch out for Spurs. Jose Mourinho is back. He never left. But it's all about finding your niche in management. And I think at his age now, I think if you can sense the pattern of where he actually dominated and where he was at his best, they are always at clubs that aren't as established as the usual. So your Bayern Munich's, your Barcelona's, your Real Madrid's, your Manchester United's. His record's not as good as they are at your Chelsea's, at your Inter Milan's. And that's no disrespect to Inter Milan, but they haven't been serial trophy winners at all. And now Spurs. So congratulations to Jose. He hasn't won anything, and I hope he doesn't win anything. But, you know, this guy, when they said that he was done, the great man is back. The great man is back, and he's proving a lot. And mark my words, this guy will sniff a title. He will sniff a title, and you know, it's going to be an interesting watch. It really is, seeing Jose Mourinho at his best, pitting this Spurs team who will listen to all instructions, whether it's just defending for the lives. He will listen to it all. It'll be interesting to see where they finish this season and if they can lift a trophy. But yeah, Jose Mourinho's back. I want everyone to smash a like, leave your comments. I want to know what you guys think about Jose Mourinho. Is he back? Is it just a false dawn and Spurs have just had a good start? Or did he not leave and he was just completely disrespected? All right, guys, I'll catch you guys later. See you later.